So in the last couple of weeks, I've unboxed a lot of new phones, phones that have just launched, and I've been kind of stuck in the sphere of new, and I haven't really had a chance ever to just stop and look back. And as one does, I was just browsing around on eBay, and suddenly it hit me, hey, whatever happened to HTC? And I looked up HTC. I just put in HTC One, and there was a bunch of the old phones, and I remembered that there used to be Google Play Edition phones. So I remember that I really was intrigued by the HTC One Google Play Edition. So what I did was I searched if there were any available on eBay, and there was only one Google Play Edition phone. I searched all the ones that were sold, and at the time of searching, there was only one available, and it was this one. And it was selling for $80 on Google, and it came with a box and everything. Now, after this phone got here, I realized a few other things, but I will hold that for a second. But this is an HTC One. This was the phone that kind of brought them back from the obscure to the more mainstream, and this was really a phone that was way ahead of its time. Just look at the design from the outside, and think, what year it came out, and try to remember. I legitimately thought this phone came out probably in 2015 or 16, just the design and everything. But looking back, I saw that it actually released in March of 2013. So this is a 7-year-old phone. 7 years ago, the Samsung Galaxy S4 was just launched. The iPhone 5 was still being sold. It had only been 6 months since the 5 had came out. And it's crazy how good this phone was for when it came out. So let me lift up the box here, and of course this box, I'm impressed with the original owner. They really cared about this phone. The listing included 2 OtterBox cases as well, and one of the cases was actually brand new in the box, and one of them was on the phone when it got here. So it came with the box and everything. So I just put the phone in the box. I've actually already been using it a little bit here and there. So it came with a box. This is what it would have looked like to unbox this phone if you bought it brand new in 2013. You would have had the phone sitting up like that, and you would have had to pull it out from this tray, and it doesn't come out easy. So unboxing experience didn't used to be as smooth back then, but phone right here. And then there was this tray which you could have lifted, and underneath, I'm not sure if this is the one that HTC shipped originally, but there is an HTC power adapter in here. There's also a power cable, which, again, not sure if this is original or not. Could be not, but looks, the way it fits in the box, I really don't know if this would be like a third party. It just seems to fit so perfectly. And then there's the terms and conditions guide, and not just that, there's so much more. There's the HTC stickers. There's like these RMA stickers. In case you wanted to return the phone, you could use these. This is the label you're supposed to use. Like, this is something that has been so well detailed and kept. There was this HTC VIP service sticker. HTC stickers, just, it's so crazy. I opened this box and I was so thrilled with all the things that came in it. There's this guide to show you how to put the SIM card in. There's an actual T-Mobile SIM card and a T-Mobile welcome guide to the phone, which explained all the features and everything about this phone. This huge little pamphlet thing, which, again, I'm just saying, like, it's crazy that a phone of this age still has its box, let alone all these cool little features, little things that come in the box as well. Someone really loved this phone, and honestly, I feel so lucky to have been able to bought this, because clearly the owner who had this cared about their phone and took really good care of it. And another thing that is proof of that is, if the box's condition wasn't enough for you guys, is that the phone itself is immaculate, and it has so much protection on it. It's got literally every single surface of this has protection on it. So this is a little screen guard, scratch guard protector on the phone right here at the top. There's one all over the screen. There's one right there. There's one on the bottom as well, right here, covered there. There's one that covers the entire back. If you guys, I don't know if the camera is going to be able to catch that, but there's one that's on the entire back as well. So this phone was legitimately, like right there, you can see the edge right there of that. So this phone was covered from front to back. Not to mention, it was in an OtterBox case as well. So the owner had the OtterBox case, one that was used, so it clearly had signs of use, but another brand new one that he sent with the phone. And I was shocked at how amazing the condition was. And honestly, this was definitely someone's pride and joy. As I was saying, this is a Google Play Edition, but I'm not sure if it started off life as a Google Play Edition phone, because as far as I remember, T-Mobile never sold the Google Play Edition, and the box has the general HTC UI. The Google Play Edition phones didn't have this. They had an image of the Google Play wallpaper and the launcher there. So I think that what happened was this was bought through T-Mobile, but at some point the owner of this phone installed the the stock Android ROM, but it works really well. So I set this phone up, booted it up, and I actually used it for a couple of hours, and it was so cool. It's a blast from the past. So it is, it looks so good. This phone is so ahead of its time. I can't, even looking at it, it's hard to say this is a 7-year-old phone. So it's a 32 gig phone. It had 2 GB of RAM, which used to be okay back in those days. It's just so cool. Looking at this phone, it's amazing. So let me go to About Phone, and you guys can see it's running Android 5.1. So I think that's Lollipop. Yeah, Lollipop. So running Android Lollipop, and then it's got, when was the last update? Is there any information I can find? Let's see. Status, not really. So not a lot of information there, but yeah, this is it's a blast from the past. So this is a HTC One M7, and this phone really, it is fantastic. So the Google Play Edition was just icing on the top. So the hardware of this phone is undeniably good. This is a full metal build, which wasn't really a commonplace back then. It was just starting to become the trend to have full metal build phone, so on the back and everything as well. And not to mention, this was also a phone that had stereo speakers. Stereo speakers is crazy. This was 2013, 7 years ago. Just for reference, Apple didn't start using stereo speakers in their phones until 2016. So 3 years afterwards is when Apple brought this, when HTC had this back in 2013, and they still sound good till date. I have used new phones this year, 2020 smartphones, that don't sound as good as this phone does. The speakers on this are just fantastic. And what I'm going to do is give you guys a little bit of a listen just to give you an idea of what it sounds like. So just crazy, crazy good. I am very impressed. Now, this phone did have a few weak points, mainly the camera. So the camera was not the greatest. It's only a 4 megapixel camera, and let me just show you the best example I can. What I'll do is I will take a photo of the, what can I take a photo of? Okay, let me grab this. Let me grab this Xbox controller I have, and I will take a photo of it on this. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, I just took the photo, and it still hasn't processed. It took a good 7 seconds to process. So, okay, what I'll do is I'll do this again on screen for you guys. Okay, so let me do it 1, 2, 3. There you go. That's how long it took for the photos to process. And not to mention, the photo quality was not that hot. So what I'll do is I'll just throw it up on screen because you won't be able to tell through the screen, through this. But yes, photo quality was not the greatest. And just to give you guys a little bit of a comparison point, I will grab my iPhone 12 Pro Max here and take a photo of the same controller with this phone, and you guys will be able to see the differences between them, and this should give you a good idea of just how far cameras have come. But again, this camera was just not that great in the first place. Again, the front camera had the same issue where it just wasn't that great. Let me take a quick selfie here. Okay, it took like a good 7 seconds to even just turn on. Okay, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but still. Okay, let's take a selfie here. It doesn't really focus. Okay. And let me take a selfie with my 12 Pro Max. And I will just show you right on screen the differences. And you guys will be like, of course, no surprise, but just it's crazy how far camera technology has come. Let me just zoom in on my face there. And this is basically the max zoom you can get there, but you guys can see just the level of detail is definitely just missing. So very, very funny. But of course, this is 7 years old, so it's kind of a given at this point that the camera will not have aged as well as it could have. But everything else is so cool about this phone. Like the battery is not the greatest, but the build quality is definitely of the top. You really can't go wrong with this. Even the buttons till date, they all feel good. They sit flush with the phone, which is definitely a unique choice. Not a lot of manufacturers are keeping buttons that are now flush with the phone. They have them that are so that they are kind of out a little bit and they stick out, which I actually prefer. It's easier to find them that way, but it's hard to deny that this is just a cool look. Like it looks absolutely fantastic, and it just, this phone, it makes me sad because this shows where HTC was going. This was fantastic, and it led to two great phones after this, the HTC M8 and the HTC One M9, and both of these phones, those phones just really failed to take off because of small issues here and there, and this company just has never been the same after this phone, and it's sad because there was so much good about it. Like, just think, this came out alongside the Galaxy S4, which was a huge mess comparatively. It had a cheaper plastic build, it had heating issues, it was just an overall mess. But this, it has stereo speakers, it's got a full metal build, it's got this really cool design, which it doesn't look that old. Even today, I feel like you could sell this design and get away with it. It doesn't look that bad. Like, it has aged beautifully, more beautifully than most Android phones from this era, and it's just sad that HTC has become so, it's a shell of its former self. It really is so sad. I love how, you know, we can look back at this phone and just remember the days, because I remember when this phone came out, one of my friends had it, and even though I wasn't a fan of Android phones, I could not get my eyes off of this phone. It looked so good. It was undeniably a beautiful phone. And the fact that HTC is now just kind of nothing, it's sad. It really is, because the potential they had and that they showed with this phone, really it's crazy. So that was just a quick one for you guys. Let me know what you think of the HTC One M7. Did you guys have the same kind of thoughts and same feelings back in 2013 when this came out as I did, or did you guys never really know about this phone, but or what was the case? I would love to hear your stories if you do remember this phone down in the comments below. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel for a lot more content, and of course follow me on social media. I'll have all the handles right here on the screen, and of course down in the description as well. That's gonna be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.